Off-season officially here. We caught up with head coach Matt Rhule for an end-of-the-year press conference on Wednesday. Hi, Sean Callahan with HuskerOnline.com. First and foremost, Rhule updated on just what's going on right now as far as the end of the year and final meetings with his players.
Met with the team on Monday. Coaches are meeting with players today, and then I will meet with every player tomorrow, Friday, and then if anything spills over into the next couple of days. I've taken the last couple of days and met with some of the seniors. Excuse me, guys, not coming back, just trying to help them with their plans, making sure they have a good setup. But so every player will meet with, their position coach, coordinator if they want, and then meet with me as well.
We also learned a lot about just some of the decisions guys have in front of them. Players like Bryce Benhart, Isaac Gifford, Turner Corcoran.
Yeah, I think Ben Scott's probably here with us. Like he was in the weight room yesterday. So I think Ben's coming back for another year. Bryce, whether it's Bryce, Gift, Bullock, I think they're probably all those guys are trying to make their minds up. It's a big decision, right? Especially when you're someone that like every NFL team's come in and asked about. It's not like you're not getting interest, right? So it's, hey, do I leave now and go here, or do I try to come back and elevate my stock? So we've just been there for them, provided information for them. I tell every guy, like, really think about this before you decide to come back, because the last thing I want is them to come back and then be like, man, I should have gone. So I want them to follow their dreams and chase their dreams. I think a lot of them are just kind of, again, you get done with that game, especially with the way the last 4 games went, coming down to the wire. It's just emotional. I told everybody this week, like, man, go play pickup basketball, go hang out with your girlfriend, go to class, like, get away for a few days, come back. Giff was in my office this morning. I think those guys, they'll announce it when they're ready and make a decision on what they want to do.
Rhule did confirm here on Wednesday that a couple of players, including wide receiver Ty Hahn and defensive lineman Blaise Gunderson, who technically have 2 years of eligibility remaining, have also decided to move on.
No, they're done. Yeah, Ty's got his degree. He's engaged. He's going back home to farm with his dad and going to open up a business, hopefully. And I can't tell you how much I love and respect that young man. I mean, so it's one of the things where I brought him in kind of like, hey, I heard you're not coming back. What's wrong? And he started talking about being engaged, and he's more mature than me, So he happy for him. And then Blaise done a great job for us. He's always had just some injuries and battled through some things, and I think he's ready just to kind of move on. If that changes, it might change at some point, but I think both those guys are done.
Wide receiver Marcus Washington is another one to keep tabs on here, as he hopes to get a waiver to come back next season.
Yeah, Marcus has asked us to look into that. It would be a pretty complicated waiver, so I think that they're working through it. So I can't I can't give any idea of whether that would happen or not. But he, like a lot of the older guys, would like to come back. It's just a matter of if we can.
Meanwhile, lots of talk about the transfer portal, particularly the future of the quarterback position. And Rhule made no bones about it. NIL is a big piece right now in college football, and if you're going to go after one of these high-profile quarterbacks, there's going to be a cost.
I think that the portal for me is I either want to, if we go to the portal, I either want to get someone with at any position, someone with multiple years, I think is on caliber with the guys that we have, or someone who's instant impact upgrade, like someone who can make a difference. Make no mistake that a good quarterback in the portal costs $1 million to $1.5 million to $2 million right now. So just on the same page, right? So let's make sure we all understand what's happening. So there's some teams that have $6 or $7 million players playing for them. So we just kind of believe in doing things like the old school way, the hard way, building. But that doesn't mean we won't look at people in the portal. We did it last year, right? It just means they have to be clearly an impact player for us if they're like a one-year player, or they have to be someone that has multiple years to get in our program and develop. So, when I go back and look at our quarterbacks this year, obviously, everyone can look at the negatives, the turnovers and all those things. I also see a lot of positives. I saw a lot of positives in the way that Chuba played. I say to myself, if Chuba had played more throughout the course of the year, would he be further along, right? For whatever reasons he didn't, right? He got banged up and all those different things. Like, I think Chuba has a high ceiling. When I look at Heinrich, I mean, Heinrich wasn't even in quarterback meetings last year. Wasn't even allowed to go to the meetings. So, like, I'm really proud of him. And I just think with further development, those guys have 2 years left. I think they're going to be good players. And so, but I'm not stupid. It doesn't mean that I'm not looking for everything. I'm just, trying to be very diligent about the process and making sure that, we always think long term unless someone's like a huge impact player.
As for quarterback Jeff Sims, last year's transfer portal addition, we don't really know what his outlook is moving forward.
Well, I'm never going to say anything that's going to sound at all sound disrespectful towards a player. So, I think Jeff's an amazing, amazing young man, an amazing human that was there for his teammates every step of the way. Had we started off with a couple layup games and he got some confidence, maybe things would have gone better. He's really talented, can run, dynamic, can make all the throws. Just turn the ball over too much. But I love who he is. I love the person that he is. So in terms of kind of what's the lesson from it? I just think it's true for everyone. I work for a guy named Marty Herney. Was a longtime general manager of the Panthers, and it was with me. They got fired after 1 year and went to the Washington Commanders. And he said to me, "Hey Matt, just remember they're all fourth-round picks. Like when you bring players in with like sort of this expectation, they're all fourth-round picks and they need time. And it's some you look at some of the portal quarterbacks that are having a ton of success." Penix and Nix and all those guys, like they've been there for a while, right? They've had a couple of years to develop in that system, and so I think there's a lot of things to it, but I don't regret taking Jeff. I think Jeff's been an amazing teammate, and I've loved having him here. And I think he can do a lot of things to help a football team. I wish we would have done a better job by him, maybe in some ways, have helped him more. But I do think that we all have a tendency sometimes, and this is not about Jeff, just in general, to like forget that if some of the guys that we have went into the portal, people would be going nuts trying to get them. So. Like you just have to make sure that you value your own roster with as much respect as other people would if those guys went into the portal, if that makes sense. And so we're just trying to learn as we go about how to manage the portal plus high school recruiting.
Rhule remained optimistic that his running backs, Gabe Urban Jr. and Ramir Johnson, will both return from their injuries better than ever.
Yeah, I think all signs with Gabe and Ramir's injuries were that they'll come back and be fine. I thought Emmett did a great job and proved that he can be the guy. And you guys have heard me talk about Quentin Ives. I think Quentin's a star. I think he's got a lot of talent. We'd love to recruit one, but it has to be the right one. So I think those four guys give us a really strong running back room. I like those four guys. I love having a big back like Gabe, and obviously Ramir. As a return man, as a guy catching the ball in the backfield, can be explosive and dynamic. So I like that room. I'm anxious. Hopefully those guys come back completely healthy, but all signs have pointed in the right direction.
As for the portal itself, it does open Monday. You get the sense there's not a lot of Husker guys that are going to be going in at this point, and it doesn't look like Nebraska is going to be trying to add a ton of new portal players, mainly because of their number situation.
No one's told me that they're going in. I don't spend a lot of time in conjecture. This person said this to this person. I mean, if people do, they do. And for some people, like as I said before, it might some guys might not be playing here and they might want to go into the portal. I think I'll do my meetings with everybody and they'll tell me what they think, and then that'll clean up. I'll clean up my meetings with the guys, and we'll see what happens on Monday, and that'll kind of clean up for me the roster, and then I know kind of how much space I have, and then I'll go make appropriate decisions in terms of who's replacing who. So I think you guys have asked me a lot about the portal versus high school. As I sit here and think about it, to me it's more about I always want to take care and honor the guys that are here first. If guys decide to leave, then I'm going to go fix the problem because they left. I'm just not going to tell a guy here to leave so that I can go get somebody else. And that's I want to be the guy that I promised all the parents I am in recruiting. So now I will tell a player, if you want to start, you're not going to start here. That's their decision. But I don't tell people they have to leave. I want them, if they want to be here and they want to be a part of this, then I want them to be here. So that's the balance. But I don't have any names right now. I mean, I might sit there and say, well, maybe him, but that's never done me any good either.
As for his coaching staff and how things will look here in 2024, Matt Rhule didn't want to go into any details, particularly if there's going to be some changes.
Yeah, I'm not ready to talk about that yet. I'm not there yet. When I hired Sat, the goal was to have a quarterback coach and have Sat coach the tight ends. It didn't work out. I think in the first year at a place like this, you get pulled in a lot of directions, and whereas some people think some of our coaches do a bad job, sometimes I think they did a great job. I think Terrence is a great young coach, but I can coach. Let me be the D-line coach, coach Nash and Ty and Jamari. Those guys are grown and they played a lot of football. So I think a lot of our coaches did some of their best coaching jobs of the year, best coaching jobs. With that being said, the process that we talked about with Sam, I'm going to go through that process, and every year I'll do that. And just figure out, especially now as the rules have changed a little bit, and you can have analysts, and now we hope that the FOC will pass, that analysts can coach a position. I think it gives you some flexibility to bring in some experienced coaches to help, and maybe they can't help on game day, but they can help throughout the year. I don't even know why there's even a rule against it. What's wrong with having people that want to help young people? There's a lot of things in flux. Obviously, because Tony's name's been thrown around a bunch. There's a lot of things so instead of why rush? Just wait and see what's right. And part of that's having great conversations with the assistant coaches, which I did yesterday with some of them. Hey, what went right, what went wrong, and then just being really meticulous and making a really smart decision.
And in other news, we learned here this week that Nebraska's red-white spring game will take place on Saturday, April 27th. Reporting here with the Nebraska football team in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.